is consultative selling and why do you need to know about it? Consultative selling, as the name suggests, is a sales conversation where your customer is and feels consulted with. So it's not a sale that takes place after a big pitch. It involves conversation, and that conversation must be two-way. So we've devised a model to help sort of showcase this. It's called Aspire. I'll tell you about it in a minute. But consultative selling is really important because the old-fashioned way of selling is to influence and to maybe push and to negotiate hard, to do big flamboyant presentations where the customer rarely gets to say very much. They're just expected to be wowed and then part with their cash. Well, sales doesn't work like that anymore, and it hasn't for a long time. I'd say at least 10 years. We've all been on the receiving end of bad salespeople that make us feel like we're having the wool pulled over our eyes, or that we're in a process, or we're being modelled in some way to get to the end. And so the sales process that we've built isn't intended to be linear. It's not a process. It's just a series of stages that any sales conversation needs to go through. The model is called Aspire, and the A of Aspire stands for ask. That is the fundamental part of consultative selling. You as the salesperson need to ask your prospect questions. You need to ask them big, open, probing questions about how they feel at the current time in the marketplace, especially going through the marketplace that we're in at the moment, where we're in a global pandemic and it's tricky. So you need to ask them lots and lots of questions, lots of tell me all about, describe to me, big open questions. Then you need to go into the more traditional open questions that begin with who, what, which, why, where, and when. Things like what type of solution are you looking for? When are you needing to get that done? Or when do you need to start this? How will you measure return on investment? Who's involved in the decision? So there's lots and lots and lots of open questions. That's a later video. But the ask stage, it really is the most important part of consultative selling. And let me tell you this, most salespeople that I've worked with, that is their Achilles heel. They dive in too quickly. They try to get past the ask stage far too quickly. So if that's you, your sort of action point, if you like, from watching this video is to just take a little bit more time in the ask stage of your consultative sales conversation. The S stands for solve. The S of Aspire stands for solve. That's all about solution selling and integrity. Are you really the person, are you the business that is going to solve your prospects' problems? If you're not, the sale cannot take place because it would cut across your integrity. You'd be doing the wrong thing. If you try to sell where you don't really truly believe that you're the right business for the job, you'll end up with an unhappy customer, with customer service issues, or worse, a cancellation that you then have to spend time processing and dealing with. And who wants that? It's a waste of everybody's time. So the solve part is about integrity. The P of Aspire stands for present, because at some point in the sales conversation, you do need to present your solution. You do need to present the product, your service, the price, the nitty gritty of what it is you want the customer to buy, and tie that back to what you learnt in the ask stage. Because if you've learned that your prospect has got a specific problem that needs solving, then your solution, your presentation should solve those problems very, very clearly. Think about using case studies, evidence, return on investment demonstrations. That might involve some calculations to be done. Go into the detail of doing a thorough presentation so that your customer is left in no doubt whatsoever that it's the right product or service and they're buying it for the right reasons, and that the return on investment for them, whether it be financial or emotional or some other return on investment, is clear for them to see. Only then should you move into the invite, the I is for invite, into the invite stage of Aspire. The invite stage has 3 parts to it. You can invite the customer to try, which could be a trial or a demonstration. You can invite the customer to buy, which would obviously be the transaction taking place. Or you can invite your customer, not that you actually would do this, to create an objection, to give you a sales objection. Now, these objections, they happen often if we haven't done enough questioning. So you can avoid objections completely if you do enough questioning, because objections usually come in the form of one of 3 things. They're either about suitability, whether the product or service is right for the customer. They're either about timing or money. So suitability, timing, and money. They are the 3 reasons, the 3 most common sales objections. Money obviously falls into 2 camps. Money can either be, the pounds. Have we actually got the pounds to spend in the budget? Or it can be the value. Have we seen enough value? Is the value proposition clear enough? And that sort of ties back to the return on investment piece. So if you want to avoid getting objections about suitability, timing, and money, then you need to go back to the beginning and ask more questions. If you want to avoid that, it's the ask stage that's going to help you do that. After the I for invite, the rest of Aspire is R and E, obviously, because we can all spell, can't we? And the R stands for relationship and the E stands for evolve. So the relationship is about account management. How are you going to make sure that you don't just get one sale, that you get repeat business from this customer? And for the evolve part, how do we make sure that we get upsell and cross-sell opportunity? So while we're building this long-term relationship, we need to go back to the ask stage to ask questions, to understand what's going on in the customer's business, what's going on with maybe the first item that they bought for you, or have their needs moved on, have their needs changed. If we ask questions about that throughout our relationship, we will identify opportunities for us to unlock more revenue from that customer's account, whether that be increasing volumes of what they've already bought or introducing new product lines or new service, new programs, that sort of thing. So in a nutshell, that's consultative selling. And that's a very quick introduction to the Aspire program. I'll give you a quick recap just so you don't forget, just in case you didn't write it down. A for ask, S for solve, P for present, I for invite to try, buy or challenge, R for relationship, and E for evolve. As ever, I'm contactable. There'll be some space for comments below. I'll put some links for you. Often, we discount tickets to our Aspire Consultative Sales Program, which we deliver both online and offline. But please do get in touch if you've got any questions at all, or maybe you're quite good at consultative selling, but you just seem to have hit a bit of a roadblock. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So get in touch. Thank you for watching.